Hey guys, welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 22 now of the Cincinnati Reds. And as you can see, it was a fantastic month of April for us. Everything that could have gone right went right. We finished with a 16-7 mark in the month. We started the month 10-2. We have a 2-game lead over the Pirates, 3-game lead over the Brewers. Best record in the National League, and we'll go through the stats here real quick, but you can see our pitching staff has been, our goal this past offseason was to make our pitching staff respectable, and they are more than respectable. We are second in runs against, second in starters ERA, second in bullpen ERA, third in FIP, third in pitcher WAR, third in strikeouts. Helps that we're first in defensive efficiency, and our offense has been middle of the pack, which is better than I anticipated. So let's take a quick look here at our offense. And we've really been carried by 4 players this year. Alexis Guzman, Tamar Johnson, Jose Mejia, and Adin Zumayo just had fantastic months of April. Guzman, our 23-year-old leadoff hitter, 362, 480, 662 in the month of April with a 201 OPS plus, stole 10 out of 11 bases. He's on pace for 70 steals, which is good for only second on this Cincinnati Reds team as we like to run, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But only 10 RBIs out of the leadoff spot, so it would be nice if we get some production out of the bottom of the order, which will let Guzman drive in a few extra runs, but I'm not going to complain about those 7 home runs out of the leadoff spot. Defensively, he's been below average, which is what we expected, but the bat makes up for it. Tamar Johnson has been an absolute revelation for us. We did sign him to that long-term contract, 4 years, $26 million, 6.5, 7, and a player option for 7.2. So my guess is if he plays well, he'll opt out, but at least 3 more years of Tamar Johnson, and he's been great. He has been absolutely fantastic. 345, 380, 483, 129 OPS plus, 1.3 WAR. He's on pace for 85 steals. Got 12 steals in the month of April. He's been great. I don't expect that to maintain, but I'll take it as long as we can get it. Another one I don't expect to last is Jose Mejia, the rookie we picked up in the deal with Minnesota with Tanner Witt, where we gave up Matthew Mathis. He's put up an ERA of 9 for Minnesota through the first month. All Mejia has done in his rookie season is hit 340, 366, 608, a 153 OPS plus, knocked in 23 runs in the month of April. 23 RBIs in 23 games for our third baseman, and he's playing very, very well at third base. The fourth of our 4-headed monster is Adin Zumayo. He's come on a bit here as of late, but 7 home runs, 21 knocked in, 975 OPS, 153 OPS plus out of the number 3 hole. He has been fantastic, and he's been slightly below average defensively, but he's holding his own. So those 4 players have really carried us offensively. Damon Long, we signed him as a minor league free agent, and I mean, no complaints. He's been above average offensively. His defense has been a little below average, but I suspect that he'll make that up. The ratings suggest that he should not be a negative value defensive player, so we'll see how this picks up as the year goes on. He should be better than that. And then the rest of our lineup just hasn't played that much. We have a lot of subbing in and out. Arce, Caldwell, Campbell, Asensio, Collins, Murphy, Schreier. Schreier's not hitting well at all, so we may need to look to upgrade at second base at some point. But again, it's just April, so I'm not worrying about that just yet. Our catching situation offensively is dreadful. 10 for 85 in the month of April, a couple of home runs, but hitting about $110 is our catching tandem. Danny Asensio, a bit concerning. 14 games, 42 at bats. He doesn't have a single extra base hit, hitting .238. So he might not be ready yet, but because he's a Rule 5 guy, we've got to leave him on the roster all year. That may mean that we switch over to Christian Campbell here for a bit, or we look to pick up another first baseman via free agency or trade. Pitching, it's a different story. Our pitching staff has been terrific, really top to bottom. Our top 3 starters, Guillaumes, Morales, and Barnes, are 9-2. Guillaumes has been everything we could have wanted as a starter. 5 starts, 36 2/3 innings, only giving up 19 hits. He has a 42-7 walk to strikeout ratio. 3.54 ERA plus. I mean, he's been an ace. Al Morales has been very, very good as well as our our number three technically. 2-1 with a 2.77. He struck out 25 in 26 innings. He left his last game a little early, which is why his innings are down. But I mean, he's been great. Justin Barnes, 3 really good starts and 2 not so good starts equates to a 3-1 with a 5.10. I'm fine with it though. 40 strikeouts and only 30 innings. He's been really good as well, and I think if he maintains those types of numbers, he'll more than pay for that contract. Pardino and Witt are 4 and 5. Witt's been fine as our number 4. He didn't give up a run in his first 2 starts. He has three starts where he hasn't given up a run. His first 2 starts, 9 2/3, no runs, and then he had an 8-inning, 3-hit, no-run performance here. And then he has a couple of rough starts mixed in there as well. So ultimately, he's been fine as our number 5 or number 4. And then Pardino is basically duplicating what he did last year. ERA might be a bit higher, but everything else is right in line. Walks are up a bit. Home runs are down a bit. So as our number 5, no complaints there. Our bullpen's been good. In fact, we have contract offers out to a couple of these guys. Drew Butcher only wanted 3 years at about $1 million, so we made him that offer. So we're just waiting for him to accept. 13 strikeouts so far in 6 innings. Alex Gutierrez, we picked up in the Guillaume's trade, has been our closer. Ridiculously high BABIP, but he's pitched well. I mean, frankly, he's given up 17 base runners in 9 innings. So his whip is pretty high, but 16 strikeouts has kind of gotten him out of that. Connor Phillips is the other minor league free agent we picked up. He's been really good as well. 12 strikeouts in 7 2/3 innings. He wants a little bit more money to come back, and I don't know that I'm right now prepared to offer him that. So we'll see what happens there. We offered Daniel Espino. He's another one who wanted like $1 million. So we offered him a couple of years at $1 million. I mean, that stuff, the fastball and the slider, I think you can get away with him in the bullpen. And so far, so good. 11 strikeouts in 9 2/3 innings. So our bullpen, our pitching staff has been fantastic. Our lineup is being carried by a handful of people. Yeah, I mean, we are going to need, because right now we're in it, right? We have the best record in the National League. I don't want to make any moves now. I think it's too early. But if we look at the trade block, there are some bats here that we could potentially look at down the road. We have Tim Anderson. We could move him to second base. Nolan Gorman, if we wanted a power bat at first base, we could bring him in. Ed Howard is a high, not a high contact guy, but a high gap power guy. Rafi Devers, who's slipping a bit. But, I mean, there are some people here now, and this list will only get bigger as we get closer. So there are some names on here that we could look at to try to upgrade at catcher, first base, second base, if we need to. There's one big name on the pitcher side of things, and that is Lucas Giolito. He's currently hurt. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks, and his contract expires at the end of this year. He's making $33 million. I mean, maybe we make a run at Giolito down the stretch. Who knows? But our pitching isn't a problem right now, so I don't feel the need to make any major changes. So my goal here, like it usually is in this episode, is to get through the end of June, get to July 1st. Not going to make any deals in May, I don't think, unless we suffer some sort of injury that necessitates it. But I'm going to sim through May offline. We'll come back. It'll be June 1st. We'll kind of look at where the team is at that point, see what sorts of moves we could potentially make, and then we'll sim through June sort of live, quote unquote. Get up to July 1st, and we'll call it an episode. So I will be back, and it will be June 1st. Hang tight. All right, we are back. It is Saturday, June 1st. We're still in first place. It's not quite as... our lead is fine, but we're not playing quite as well. We still had a plus 500 month. We were 15 and 13 in May. We're 31 and 20. Our pitching staff took a bit of a step backwards, but again, I was never expecting them to continue to pitch as well as they had in May. Offense still middle of the pack, although the players I didn't think would continue to hit like they were are continuing to hit like they were. Tamar Johnson's still hitting over 300. He's got 4 home runs, 17 stolen bases. He's on pace for 7 WAR. So as long as he can stay healthy, we're in good shape there. Mejia continues to hit. I mean, his numbers were down a little bit from April. I mean, he hit 340 in April. He only hit 296 in May, but still hit 6 home runs. So he's got 12 home runs and 40 runs knocked in 51 games as a rookie. Zamaya's average isn't there, but I mean, he's knocking in runs. He's on pace for a 35, 121 season at age 22. And again, below average defense. But in left field, I would suspect, with that positional rating and those defensive ratings, that he'll be acceptable when it's all said and done. Alexis Guzman is just absolutely manhandling the baseball. He's on pace for 41 home runs, 29 doubles, 16 triples, 108 walks, 137 runs stored, 60 stolen bases as a 23-year-old. He is crazy good. Cody Schreier had a very, very good month of May. 291. You can see he upped his average up to 2, whatever it was. Hit for some power, hit some doubles, had an 800 OPS. He's got his average up to 250 now. Asensio's still not hitting. He's got 6 doubles now, but there's just no power. So you'll see in a second. We started playing Christian Campbell more frequently, and all he's done is put up an 830 OPS, hit 4 home runs, and I believe played a pretty good first base. So, yeah. Damon Long is still hitting. Not hitting for a ton. He's not hitting for power, but I mean, if he ends up the season with 44 doubles and 10 triples, I mean, I'm not going to complain. 470 slugging. I mean, how's his defense? Is it picked up? Not really. It's a bit of a surprise, but all in all, again, no complaints. And then the rest of the team, again, not a lot of playing time. Our catching situation has gotten a little bit better. Our batting average is up to about 160 now. It was about 110 at the end of April, so they're coming along. But yeah, it's still Guzman, Johnson, Mejia, Long, and Zumaya. Those are the 5 batters that are carrying us, and they're doing a great job. Pitching, I think, took a bit of a step backwards that month, but still not terrible. Guillaume's is still on pace for 16 wins, 200 innings, 240 Ks, and 6 WARs. So, I'm certainly not going to complain about that. He had a couple of rough starts, but then he had like a one-hitter here. So he's still been our best pitcher, still been our ace. Justin Barnes had a good May. That's batting stats. Here we go. You can see he was only 2-2, but he put up a 3.19 ERA. Didn't strike out nearly as many, which is weird. So he won more games, had a higher ERA, and struck out a bunch more in April than he did in May. But ultimately, 5-3 with a 4.13 is fine. Morales has got a 3.44 ERA. He's been really good as well. So, again, our top 3 starters have been fantastic. Tanner Witt, the ERA is a bit high, but out of your number 4 starter, he's on pace for a 19-win season. I'm not going to complain at all. I mean, he's had some really solid games. I mean, just his last one 2 days ago, 2 hits in 7 2/3 innings. So, and then Pardino has only won 1 game. His ERA has kind of gone up a bit. He had 1 good start in the last month. He's not pitching long into games, so he hasn't been great. And then our bullpen, again, our top 3, Gutierrez, Phillips, and Brutcher, have all been great. Brutcher signed his contract, so you can see 3 years, $4.3 million. I may have been a little hasty in that deal, just given what he had done over the first month and a half. But, I mean, if he can come anywhere close to, even if he doesn't, I mean, if we have to eat $1.5 million, I'm not really worried about it. But other than that, our bullpen has been okay. Yeah, I mean, De La Rose is putting up a 2.66 ERA, walking a few too many for my liking. Gonzalez is pitching more than anybody, and he's been the worst pitcher on the staff, so we need to cut back there, I think. We have a couple pitchers that are injured right now as well. We are without Gonzalez and Espino. Espino one hurts because he's been really good, 25 strikeouts, 20 innings, 2.66 ERA. We did trade for Jonathan Diaz just a few days ago. We get him back in 4 days, and the trade was really nothing. We gave up 29-year-old Kendall Pettis, who just 2 years ago was in indie ball, so I'm not really concerned there, but it gets us some additional depth. He's an extreme ground ball pitcher, which if you followed my channel, you know that's my type. Yeah, so he'll be back in a few days, and we'll stick him in the bullpen. So yeah, I mean, it's been It's been a good start to the season. 31-20. We still have the best record in the National League. It's a very tight National League. Um, I mean, we have a 5.5 game lead, but otherwise, it's 2 games in the East. It's a game and a half in the West. Guzman leads the National League in OPS. Guzman and Tamar Johnson are 1-2 in stolen bases. Guillaume's is third in strikeouts, third in WAR. Gutierrez leads in saves. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely room for improvement from a lineup perspective. We need an upgrade at first base because I mean Campbell's playing well, but he's not even really the short-term answer. I'd rather have him as a backup, where at all the infield positions where he will have more value rather than my starting first baseman. But we could use a bat at first. We could use a catcher who has some hitting chops. I think I'm okay sticking with Schreier through the year. If we can pick up another bat like at first base, we can kind of shift everybody down a bit, and then Schreier won't hurt us quite as much with that bat. I mean, you see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 7 batters that are above league average when it comes to really significantly above league average too. 7 batters are at least 10% better than the league average in terms of hitting. We just have a couple of anchors in Murphy and Asensio. So we got to do something about catcher and first base. And then pitching, I mean, you pick up what you can get. And if we can get another starter, great. If we can get another bullpen piece, great. So we've got the money. We're kind of in. We're in the running for things. So I think it makes sense for us to try to make a move or two to see what we can do to make this work. Honestly. So let's start with the batters. Has this changed at all? Carlos Correa's on there now. Blake Paw. Apparently we traded him at the trade deadline in 2013 to Arizona. And he hasn't been very good. Alec Boehm, I mean, he can definitely play first base. Jeff McNeil, old friend Jeff McNeil, who had a cup of coffee with the Tigers in 2026 and 2027. Getting up there in age. Anderson's not bad. He's not really hitting this year, although he is coming off of a 332 season. Correa can't really hit anymore. He's hitting 132. Yolqui Cespedes. He's doing okay. Rafael Devers. We could just stick him at first. Acceptable starter. Yeah, I mean, he can hit righties, sort of. There really aren't any catchers on this list that are going to improve us. So we'll keep an eye there. There's nothing there that's really standing out to me yet. From a pitching perspective, I mean, I wouldn't, yeah, okay, so he's not getting traded. Anybody else? Alex Lang, he's not very good, but he's only 2 years removed from a 3-WAR season. Okay, I mean, we can get Lang for nothing. Can we get them to retain his salary and still get him for nothing? We can. So we're going to send 28-year-old Jovan Gill to the New York Yankees in exchange for Alex Lang. Lang hasn't been very good this season, but again, I mean, had a 16-win season here. I would think he would be better than Pardino. So let's pull the trigger on this one. I'm going to get Lang on the main roster. Who gets sent down? I think Angel Gonzalez hasn't pitched particularly well. We'll get Lang up. We will put him in the rotation immediately. Make Pardino a reliever. So that's, I think, a good start to the trade deadline. We pick up Alex Lang to solidify. I mean, I say that. I mean, he's been terrible, but his ratings suggest that he should be better than that. And considering we gave up nothing to get him, if we cut him because he's terrible for us, that'll be okay because we won't have spent anything. We gave up a player that we weren't going to use, and we aren't spending any money on him. So let's take a look at the schedule and let's start simming ahead here in June. So Washington day 1, it's a 3-2 win in 12. A couple of hits for Guzman, including his 14th home run of the year. Barnes pitches 9 innings, gives up 1 run, no decision. Phillips and Brutcher come in. Gutierrez blow down. No, he didn't blow the save. The game was tied. It's a good start for Jacob Barnes. Game 2 against Washington. It's 2-1 loss. Let's go on to Cleveland. We take on Cleveland at home. We win 5-2. Anything good happen here? Collins homers. He's got his average up to 156. 2 hits for Termarr Johnson. Lang gets the start for us. Goes 5. So perfect. I mean, can't ask for more than that out of your number 5 starter. I'll take it. And the second game against the Indians, a short 2-game series, is a 3-2 win. So 3 out of 4 here to start off the month of June. Johnson 2 for 2, 2 runs scored. Guillaume's pitches 7, picks up the win. Gutierrez gets the save. Johnson with another home run. He continues to mash. That contract that we signed him to is looking better by the day. Let's keep moving forward. And we will continue to keep an eye on the trade block. My guess is that it will pick up as we get closer to July. And hopefully we can land ourselves a bat that can help us. I guess we can look at free agents. I haven't even thought about that. There's a lot here, but is anything significantly better than what we have? I mean, Apostol's a very good defensive first baseman. Arias is a great defensive shortstop, which we don't need. Barea can't hit. Freeman's a good on-base guy. We got a few catchers here. Sam Huff. I mean, if I can't trade for a significant upgrade, what we may do is just go to the minor leagues and say, all right, Washbaugh, you're going to come up and you're going to get it done. I mean, he's hitting 271 down in AAA, which isn't great, but yeah, I mean, Collins, I expect more out of that. I mean, he put up a 771 OPS last year in Detroit for us. So you suspect that he'll come along eventually. But for now, we'll just stick with what we have, as we have a 4-game series at home against San Francisco. Another win. So 4 out of 5 here in June. Good start to the month. 3 hits for Zamaya, 2 for Schreier, 2 for Mejia. Murphy has 2 hits. Tanner Witt improves to 7-2 on the season. Who would have seen that coming? Game 2 against San Francisco. It's another win. So we are starting to pull away here in the Central in our very first season. This was not anticipated, folks, but I'll take it. So Zumaya has 4 runs knocked in. Hits a 3-run homer. Guzman steals his 20th. Barnes picks up the win. Moves to 6-3. Third game against San Francisco. And we lose. And the final game of the 4-game series. Is it a split, or do we win 3 out of 4? We win 3 out of 4 as we win easily. Zumaya homers, drives in, hit two solo home runs. Guzman with 3 hits, Schreier with 3 runs knocked in. Campbell hit another home run. Schreier, Zumaya twice, and Campbell. So Christian Campbell getting it done. Although, again, he's better off as a backup middle infielder. I want to get him off first base so I can get him at those backup infield positions. Lang pitches 5 innings again. So 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Can't ask for more than that. Gutierrez, man, he has been just lights out for us as a closer this year so far. 37-22. We are 4.5 games up. We've actually lost a game here in the last few games as the Brewers have gotten hot. They are 32-26, won 6 in a row. Blake Paw on the trade block leads the National League in home runs. And all we would have to give up would be that prospect Jared Fitzgerald, who our scout doesn't like. OSA kind of likes him. He's a first-round pick in 2024. He's hitting 218 in high A ball. I feel like that's a deal that we need to make, but let's take a look real quick and see if we can give him somebody that isn't a prospect. Like, would you like Tommy Edman? Let's submit the offer, and let's see if they're interested in that. Almost. Can we? Yeah. So we can get this done without giving up really anybody. We can give them Brian Anderson. What is going on here? That's not what I wanted to do. This is Philadelphia, right? Yeah. It's Philadelphia. They're going to give us... Was it Philadelphia? Oh, it was Arizona. Right. Arizona. Blake Paw for Brian Anderson and Tommy Edman. They said they would take that. So it's time for the draft pool announcement. And the great thing about the draft is we have the number 1 pick. So if we take a look at the draft pool and then go to the mock draft, we have the number 1 pick, and they think we're going to take Joe Teitelbaum. If that's our number 1 pick, that's a problem. Let's look at the draft pool. See, if I'm going to take a shortstop, it's going to be this guy, Eric Moultrie. He's still a ways away, but that is the bat there. What do we have for pitchers? We could go after a 21-year-old Jimmy Hall or a 20-year-old, I think it might be this guy. I think it might, well, he's already 21. We got some time, so we'll see what happens. But there are 2 really good pitchers, 1 really good batter, and we're going to get our pick of the bunch. Moultrie's probably a third baseman with those ratings, but nonetheless, he's still really good. So that's the draft pool. We're going to have our pick of the best players in the draft, which is nice. Yeah, so let's keep going as we have 3 games here against Pittsburgh. Game 1 is a 4-1 win. We get Edgar Gonzalez back. We're going to send him on a rehab assignment. Guillaumes goes 8, gives up one run and 8 hits. He improves to 7-3. He's our ace man. Schreier with 3 hits. Mejia with 3 runs knocked in. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Game 2 at Pittsburgh. Is a 2-1 loss in 11, and Game 3. All right, so we lose the series to Pittsburgh. Now we take on Milwaukee, which is become a big series. We have a 4.5 game lead on them. We could knock them 7.5 out, or we could let them right back into the race if they sweep us here. So Game 1 is a 5-3 win for us, so we end our 2-game losing streak. We go up 5-0 in this one. We get RBIs from Mejia, Long, Johnson, and Murphy. Guzman's up to 26 stolen bases on the year. Morales improves to 6-4. Very nice. Oh, that trade. What was going on with that deal? Okay, so let's complete the trade. Yes. All right, so we pick up Blake Paw, who is currently the National League's leading home run hitter. We are going to send down who? Elias Cardenas. We'll call up Blake Paw. And Blake Paw will move into our starting lineup. And he's going to give us some pop here, which is nice to see. And I want Campbell backing up at really every defensive position here. I don't want him starting every second game. I want him starting every 5th game. Against lefties, same deal. Get Paw out there. Campbell every 5th game. Campbell every... Oh no, this isn't good. This is not good at all. So let's see what the deal is with Adin Zumaya. Let's get through today. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We lose 12-8. Yeah, he's only day to day. Okay. With a sore shoulder. Ooh, this is a tough loss. We lost, and Lang pitched well. The bullpen gave it up. De La Rosa gave up 5. Phillips gave up 5. But Lang pitched really, really well. So can't complain about that. Game 3 against the Brewers as we look to come out of this series with a 5.5 game lead. And we don't. So it's a 3.5 game lead now in the Central. We're 39-26. No longer have the best record in the National League. We're behind the Rockies and the Dodgers. Yeah, it's nice seeing somebody on our team at the top of the order here. Blake Paw is the National League's leading home run hitter now. All right, so who do we have? We have Pittsburgh again? Yeah, Pittsburgh followed by 4 at Los Angeles. So game number 1 against Pittsburgh. It's our 3rd loss in a row. Make it 4 in a row and 6 out of 7. So we finally come back and win. We're 40-28. Take a look at the standings here in a second. Looks like Guzman hit another home run. Schreier homers. Morales goes 8. 3.5 games up still. Okay, so Milwaukee is sort of losing steam alongside us. But now we have a 4-game set against the Dodgers, and we have 7 of our next 10 against the National League's best teams. So this is going to be a challenge here. 2-1 loss. Wow, we have hit a brick wall here, folks, as we are now 41-31 as we finally win a game. We win the final game of the series against the Dodgers. Mejia with 4 runs knocked in. Guzman and Schreier each with 2 hits, 2 runs scored. Barnes goes 5, doesn't get the win, but that's okay. So we're only 1 game up. We have 2 games in hand on the Brewers. We're 41-31. They're 39-41. We've gone the wrong way here. 10-11 in June, so we still have a shot to finish the month with a winning record. Blake Paw has yet to homer with us in 8 games. He's 5 for 25, because of course he has. We'll just keep going here. So we got Al Morales going against San Francisco. We lose again. All right, half a game lead. Now it's Alex Lang's turn to try to stop the bleeding. And he can't. We are still in first place, though. And now it's time for our ace to be an ace and win this game. Nope, we lose again, and we fall out of first place. So, guys, this has just been since our 4-1 win back on June 11th. We are 3-4-5-6-7-8-9-10. We are 3-12 in our last 15 games, and we have to finish the month against the Dodgers. So, this could end up being a very, very bad month for us. Let's see how the first game goes. We win 11-3, so that is nice. Tanner Witt picks up his 8th win of the year, almost goes the distance. Also hits a home run. Zamaya homers, Murphy homers, Guzman homers. Murphy drives in 4, so that was a big game for us. Did we move back into first place? We didn't. Well, we're tied with Milwaukee. So game 2. Let's see what happens in game 2. Is a loss. And can we finish June with a victory? Let's see. We're 42-35 on the year. The suspense is killing me. $43-35. Okay, so we win the final game of the month against the Dodgers. So at least we end the month on a good note. We get 3 hits, 2 RBIs from Zumaya. It looks like Murphy homered again. Campbell homers. We just can't keep Campbell out of the lineup, guys. I mean, he's raking. Morales pitches okay, but gets the win. Blake Paw still hasn't homered for us, I don't think. Nope. 13 games. He's 7 for 38. I mean, at least we didn't give up anything for him. Player development. A lot of ups and downs. Looks like Morales got a little worse. Guillaume's got a little worse too. But again, because this is on a 1 to 100, you can't overreact if you see a bunch of minuses because it could literally be a 1% drop. Mejia got better. Arce got better. Tamar Johnson got a little worse, but he's still hitting 320. Adame, who was our Rule 5 guy, got a little better. Zumaya got better. Long got better. Guzman got better. Washaba got better. Lucas is doing okay in high A ball, so we'll probably call him up to double A here. In fact, let's do that now so that we don't forget. And so internet. I'm not going to do any of this. We'll do this in the next episode, but we've got Ivan Morales, who's an elite outfielder. Yeah, I mean, this is the option. I mean, he's probably a corner outfielder, but high work ethic, high intelligence with those ratings, that works for me. Let's take a look and see. Let's start with pitching this time. So Guillaume 7-5, 3.24 ERA. He's been fine. I mean, again, all of my pitchers have kind of taken a step backwards here over the last couple of months, but I wasn't expecting to compete. So the fact that we're even in it is a positive to me. Alex Gutierrez has been lights out as our closer. I mean, fantastic. Justin Barnes has been pretty good, up and down. Al Morales has been up and down. I mean, really, it's been up and down everywhere, but we have had some players overperform. Alex Gutierrez has clearly overperformed. Tanner Witt has clearly overperformed as he's 8-3. We brought in Alex Lang, and he's actually been quite good. 5 starts, 30 innings, 26 strikeouts. He's 2-1. So that helped the pitching rotation some. Butcher's been okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's been all right. And that's pretty much what we're going to see here across the board. It's been all right. Guzman has been fantastic. I mean, he's still on pace for 6 WAR. The numbers have dropped. Hasn't hit nearly as well over the last month or so, but still on pace for 65 stolen bases, 37 home runs, nearly 7 WAR. Tamar Johnson, again, where we would be without him right now, I don't know. But he's on pace for 10 home runs, 60 RBIs, 50 stolen bases, 6 WAR. Gold Glove level defense at shortstop. So Mejia, again, another player that we just didn't expect to do what he's doing. He's on pace for 29 home runs and 112 RBIs while continuing to play. His average, his defense has slipped significantly, actually. Zumaya, the ratings are getting to where we need them to be. I mean, he's on pace for 37 and 118, but he could easily hit 45 with 40 doubles. So Blake Paw hasn't homered for us yet, so that sucks. Damon Long has been really good. Our catching situation has continued to just be terrible. They're 49 for 294. It's about a 160 batting average, 150 batting average. But we have some bats that are really, really bad. Asensio, Caldwell, Collins, Adame are all negative WAR players. Murphy's only positive because of his defense. Schreier has continued to hit well out of the number 2 hole, although he's still below average. So it's something that we need to work on. So July is going to be a month of hopefully trying to upgrade us. We need a new catcher. We have our first baseman, although he's not hitting. We need a catcher, potentially a second baseman, and then really any and all pitching we can come across. I mean, I can upgrade pretty much every bullpen piece except for Gutierrez, Butcher, and Phillips. And I mean, I can upgrade them and slide them down, but De La Rosa, Curtis, Diaz, Franklin, Pardino, they're all fungible. So if I can find 4 or 5 relief pitchers that are better than them, no reason for me not to bring them in. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I know it's a little bit quicker than normal, but I wanted to get an episode in, and with my truncated time frame this week because I'm not going to be home tomorrow and Friday. I wanted to get something out, and this may not be posted until Saturday. It all depends on how much time I have, but I wanted to get the staples out, and the staples are out of the park baseball. If I have time between now and Saturday, I will get a front office football Raiders episode posted. I do have, like I said, I'm out of the house on Thursday and Friday. Saturday, I have a football game that I have to broadcast. And then Sunday is my live stream for GM Games. So maybe I can get a video out Sunday prior to my live stream with GM Games. I'm not really sure yet, but I will at least get this one out. And then if I have time, I'll get Front Office Football out. As always, guys, do me a favor, drop a like, drop a subscribe, leave me some comments, let me know your thoughts. And until we talk to everybody again, have a good couple of days, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.